to be here today. And also I want to acknowledge that yesterday ILWU passed resolutions. We had Local 34 that passed resolution to support the Oakland Education Association and support our demands and support our picket lines. ILWU Local 10, and they're in the House with overwhelming support, supports a quality public education and stands with us in our fight against the privatization of our public schools.
Bradford Seymour.
And you're a member of ILWU Local 10?
Yes, 9827, yes I am.
Why are you here today?
To support the teachers who take care of our kids. Who's the future? Who's the future? I feel that they should get paid proper wages. And I also feel that the class sizes should be, reasonable. And several other factors.
So this is a working class issue?
Of course, of course. Of course.
And a lot of these school closures they're talking about have been in the community, in the flatlands, among your members?
Yes, yes, our community.
There used to be a public school right here, Ralph Bunch Jr., because I met Dr. Bunch when I was a kid and grew up here and stuff. It was real comfortable and stuff. Then it changed the environment and stuff. We used to be in the park and do everything, and it's real comfortable. And now, now I got old and retired, and so I'm happy to still be here.
Gentrification.
Chris and I was talking that both of us attended Deformery Park when they used to give free lunches, and the Black Panthers is here.
Terry Smith and Bill Jones and Bill McDavid. They was all very good to the community. Yes, yeah.
I'm born and raised in this community. I live right here.
Yeah,
right here.
I stayed down on Chestnut. I was born and raised here. Yeah.
Well, now this gentrification, they're kicking people out of their communities. How is that affecting?
I think it's an overall problem. It's not just
a social crisis.
Yes, it's a social crisis. Because at one point in time, like Chris and I was talking when we were younger, the community, we watched out for each other a little bit more. And with the change of the community now, it's a lot more segregation. It's a lot more changes. I mentioned to Chris earlier, some of the things that's going on now, we were literally growing up here in the 70s and in the 80s, we were get penalized for it. We would get punished for it. For example, riding our skateboards on the sidewalk, we would get incarcerated for or locked up. Now they put skate parks in here. At one point in time, if you turn that camera towards Deformery, right in that area, they had a tennis court, and they had an area for BMX's bikes to ride. Majority of us, we rode bikes. We didn't ride skateboards and things like that. So they took the BMX figure 8 out, and I'm not mad at the skate park though, but things have changed, little things like that.
I mean the working people now trying to survive in the Bay Area with rents and speculation and
ridiculous.
I mean, commuting, longshoremen have to commute now just to get to work.
Absolutely, but that's the reason the teachers are here.
It's got better.
Let's try. Let's do attempt. Let's try to attempt to get them some prevailing wages so that they can survive in this high economy in which we live in. I just mentioned to Chris, instead of focusing on a border wall, we should be giving the kids the money. No walls, give it to the kids.
We are proud. We are respectful. We are intelligent. We are determined. We are empowered. What do we have? Pride. Who are we? Pride, 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 pride.
I'm Jack Heyman, retired Local 10 longshoreman. We're standing here near the port of Oakland, protesting at, I think, Go Public, a privatizing school agency.
And there's a lot of money in Oakland, a lot of wealth in California. Why are the teachers suffering like they are? I mean, they can't live here in Oakland anymore?
Well, one of the reasons is that the school board is complaining that they're in financial difficulties. They don't have the money to fund wage increases. That's why they're closing schools. And this is really dishonest, because If you look right over here, we have ships in the port. All this cargo coming across the docks is not taxed. Whereas in Long Beach and Los Angeles, together those two major ports tax the cargo coming across the port to the tune of $10.7 billion. The Port of Oakland doesn't tax at all for this cargo.
Isn't this a labor-controlled city? I mean, you got a Democratic mayor and Democratic people appointed to the Port of Oakland?
Well, the Democratic Party is a friend of labor only at election time. They want the votes of the working class, but they really don't represent the working class. What we need in this country right now especially is a workers' party, a party that's based on the trade unions, that's funded and represents the interests of the working class. We need to bring out all of the unions to support the teachers. This is a big fight for public education against these charter schools, and it's going to require the longshore workers in the port, the BART workers that run transit, the AC bus drivers. We all need to go out with the teachers to win this one.
Are you talking about a general strike?
Well, it could lead to something like that, but you know, it's about time that the working class get back up on its feet because it's been sleeping for too long. We've got a leadership that's complacent throughout the organized labor movement. And
none of the speakers today at the rally today and rally yesterday talked about California has a budget surplus of $13 billion. They have a supermajority in the legislature. They have a Democratic governor. They could have an oil depletion tax. They could tax the billionaires. They don't even have to have another ballot initiative. They could do it unilaterally.
Yeah, they could. It's not just the Democratic governor. The legislature, this is a blue state. And the Democrats could do that very easily. I think what's going to happen here, and I hope I'm wrong, but there's a lot of pressure on the OEA union officials to settle this contract quickly. We're going into the weekend, and I hope I'm wrong, but they need to stay out until they get what they went out on strike for and not capitulate to pressure from the Democratic Party and from the AFL-CIO bureaucracy, particularly the CTA.
And the charters are growing, and the CTA is saying that the main issue is transparency, passing bills to make charters more transparent. What do you think about the strategy of the CTA and the AFT that they want to make the charters more transparent and comply with the laws?
I think they need to call for abolishing the charter system altogether. And fight for public education for all. That's where the fight needs to be. And it's going to take all of labor to get behind the Oakland teachers here. And you know, the Port of Oakland has a long history of taking solidarity actions with other unions and against police brutality.
Against war?
Against the war. We shut down all the ports.
We have a lot of money for war. That's the Democrats vote for more money for war. Billions, 108, 700 billion.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats are just as bad, if not worse, at starting wars than the Republicans. But the point here is that the trade union movement needs to come together and take coordinated action, whether it's a general strike, which we haven't had in this city since 1948.
46?
Yeah.
That was the last general strike in the United States.
In my opinion, we could shut the city down tight with the transport unions, with the longshore, BART workers, and the AC transit, and the teachers would win their demand. But I don't see that happening right now. They need to reach out to the unions for solidarity actions.
My name's Olivia Udovic. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Manzanita Seed and Oakland Public Schools parent of just two students. And it means that we're here at Go Public Schools today because they have co-opted the name, the word public, and are trying to pretend that charter schools are public schools. They are publicly funded schools that have no accountability and have private school boards that are not elected, and they don't have to take special ed students. They don't have to take English language learners. They can kick students out. That's not a public school. I've been a public teacher for many, many years, and I would be ashamed to have anything to do with that.
Do you think the charter law should be repealed in California that allow
Definitely.
because you don't believe that public money should be going to privately run schools.
Oakland Public Schools lose $57 million every year to charter schools. That would pay for us to have 18 students in our class, double the number of counselors and nurses, and still have $10 million left over.
That would take care of the financial.
That would take care of the financial problems, and that would take care of, that would improve our schools tremendously.
And what about the Democrats? The Democrat Governor Newsom, you have a $13 million budget surplus, you have a supermajority in the legislature, assembly, and Senate. Couldn't they pass laws to really refund education?
Well, I hope the Democrats were listening today, because I think that they've been on the wrong side of this issue as well, just like the Republicans. So I hope the Democrats were listening today, that the people of California have awoken to the fraud that charter schools really are, and that we're not going to elect Democrats that don't stand on the right side of this issue.
So you're saying enough is enough?
Enough is enough, yes.